Can we get people coming quick? This whole week, every.
I hope so. I enjoy the ignites, I think they're good.
They are good. I think it's hard to do them in this June, July time, but. Gotta keep doing them. They'll show up, right? People that wanna succeed will be here.
It's like we usually have at least one or two by now, though.
Right, exactly. How's it been going? How's it been going?
Slow.
Have you been door knocking? What have you been doing?
So the last 2 weeks I went door knocking 1 day out of the week. Cause I work Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Uh-huh.
One of the 2 days that I wasn't working, I was door working. I think I knocked 75 doors 2 weeks ago, 50 doors this past week. Yeah, database is very slow build up. And today I didn't do anything real estate related because I was trying to take my moped into the shop for repairs that was stalled. And that turned into like a 3-hour debacle. And so when I got home, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take it easy, work on some other things.
Did you at least talk to the people at the shop about?
I didn't even go in, I said, toad,
Oh, no,
otherwise I would have.
the worst.
Yeah, but Thursday, I'm gonna call around for an open house on Saturday, and then Saturday I'm open. Okay. So that's gonna be my,
On Thursday for Saturday?
Yeah.
Okay,
is there something going on?
let me see, Emily has one.
Hardest time finding things to do when I don't have people to work for, you know? It gets that early stage where,
Yeah, you're finding somebody to help.
yeah, there's no one to help yet. And I've got plenty of people who have talked about needing help in the future, but they're not there yet. So I've been keeping up with them like every week or every other week, just giving them a call, leaving them a voicemail. But that's fast and easy, but it's not gonna take me the whole day.
Well, Javon, Judah, the Jays. We'll see who comes. I know it's like it's to the middle of summer and people check out. For sure. What's your other job? What's your job now?
I do big deconstruction down in Salt Lake on the weekdays.
What do you do for them?
I pour concrete.
Do you know anybody in the office? My friend Tammy works.
I mainly know my foreman, the CEO, but
She might have retired. My friend Tammy, I work construction.
Yeah.
In the office. Tammy White, she got married. Oh, it says she's a Savage Service. So she was a big deal. Yeah, she did payroll out of the roofing company. I did accounts receivable. Little baby roofing company. The construction background is a good background to have in real estate.
yeah, no, it's fun. I enjoy it. And I do that on Taco Bell, manager Taco Bell, so quick money.
Whoa, and real estate. You do a lot. I mean, you're thinking about real estate.
Yeah,
You're busy.
that's,
to do
and
two
that's why
jobs.
I wanna get into real estate, is cause like, at the end of the day, it's more so I can manage my properties and construction, like I said, cause I do wanna be able to get my own properties, you know what I mean? So.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
why wouldn't you, right?
Right, exactly. One like, so I always saw, there's one of the people that taught me all about this, he had his own rental properties, but he always had a realtor, you know, to
Mhm.
deal with them, and it's just like, why would I do that to myself, you know?
Yeah,
Growing up, seeing that, you know, do better for me, getting it done now, you know,
yeah.
so.
You guys have met Sean. He owns, one or two rental properties. Oh. Good to know. Shirts. He owns a couple rental properties. Javon wants to own some,
Good.
so that's what I said. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you?
That's the way to build wealth.
Yeah, we talk about our value proposition here at our office specifically, not just at Keller Williams as a whole, and we call them our 3 buckets, but we want to have, something that's building you inside, like, cause you've got to grow from the inside to grow everywhere else, right? So personal development. And then we also want to grow your business, and obviously we do that in real estate. We specialize in doing that in real estate. And then we want to grow your wealth, because you got to grow your business, so you have enough money to buy the rental properties to build your wealth. So I actually grabbed training calendars for you guys. So on our training calendar, a fun little fact is that each of these will tell you what bucket like each class is for. So personal development, business development, mobile development. So there's like a little key on the calendar every month, I saw that before. And it will tell you like what each class is. So it's fun that you said that by rental properties, because we want you to build your wealth. Right there on the calendar.
Well, and then in our industry, it's, all I can say is what you focus on expands, right? So if you have that in your mind and you already know what kind of rental that you're looking to buy, if you're looking to buy your first home, you guys own homes. If you think about, okay, I want to buy rentals or own rentals. And what you focus on expands, then you realize, oh, I can own a fourplex and be owner occupied, have my 3 other tenants. Pay the mortgage, if not all, sometimes including your utilities. Like, why not? Right? And so you start thinking about things like that, then all of a sudden that perfect duplex or fourplex shows up. So what you focus on expands. And if you never thought about a fourplex, it would never come to you.
Wow.
Come on in.
Hey.
So, one of the tricks, not that this is about,
This isn't about the class, yeah.
but, 4 units or less, you can do
These are just-
with,
that's just our-
with
Oh,
FHA
just
or
delete it.
conventional financing. Over 5 units is considered commercial lending. So then with the commissions that you earn, you literally can do FHA financing, which is the lowest down program you have, a financing program out there. You literally can use your commission to, as your part of your down. payment.
As your down.
You can get into a place pretty much with hardly any in your pocket. Yeah. There's no reason why 6 months from now, every one of you guys should be owning a fourplex.
That's really why I got it.
Yeah.
It's like.
Oh, that's what we were just talking about.
It's
That's
like,
what
oh,
we want about it.
fourplex for you, and fourplex for you. You're like,
He's like, oh, crap.
no, seriously.
Submissions, by the way.
Start building your wealth that way. There's no reason to hold off on doing it. Sometimes we put that, oh, someday. No, make that a next week or in 2 months, or make that one of your goals. Like, you know what? I am going to buy.
I mean, we've seen some pretty crazy seller finance stuff, like for $5,000 down, and they'll seller finance you. Like, it doesn't have to be a typical mortgage either.
So I'm gonna tell a story, and I know this is completely not part of Keep Every Lead. What's the other one? Keep Every Lead, and
Strengthen relationships.
that was last week.
I don't know.
I've been in the business for a long time, and like I said, opportunities do come up, and I've
Oh,
owned that.
sure, more leads. Keep
Capture
everything.
the leads. I've owned a handful of different businesses, different these from the bar businesses to. I've owned a car wash and a laundromat. And other businesses as well, but the car wash and laundromat. Was a seller that we had, the market had shifted. The seller he had a live-in or a guy that stayed there. Would take care of the place, but that guy got old and retired, got sick, moved away, something, and he lived in Rock Springs, this guy did. And he was like, I can't find anyone to work this, so we're just gonna close the laundromat and the car wash, we're just gonna sell it. And then every buyer that we showed it to, when we had it listed, every buyer was like, I don't know anything about car washes, I don't know anything. And I don't know if you know anything about car washes, but everything in there is overhead, right? It's like if the pumps aren't pumping, they're sitting there going idle, going bad. If your chemical's not being used, your chemical's going bad. If your hoses aren't sucking through, they're deteriorating, right? So it really is worth less if it's not working. Plus, it's a car wash, so it's not like I could turn it into a different type of building, right? You really can't. So after a while, we're like, we gotta get this car wash up and running. He's like, I can't do it. I'm not driving down from Boxford to do it. He was older as well. So someone offered to him, someone, the local guy to where this car wash was, says, well, I'll buy it, but here's what I want. And he was like, screw you, man, you're taking advantage of me. And if I would do that, I would sell to these guys. And then we're like, you will? So we released the listing. We literally bought the car wash for nothing out of our pocket. But he did a seller finance, but everything that we made, we had to put back in. That was the goal until we paid him back. And all the money the car wash made, bought new vacuums, bought new this, new that. And we literally did it for 4 years. I sold it for 10% more. Sorry, I sold it for more. I made 10% of what I paid for it myself. And I didn't put a penny into it. Didn't cost me anything but the time. So there's opportunities will come up, I promise you. It's insane when what you focus on expand. So anyway, okay, let's catch more leads.
Yeah,
Quick question for you. Last week I emailed you, tried to log in, log in through the Zoom,
oh,
but you never sent me the invite code, so I could never log in.
let me, the Zoom for this is called kwsuccesszoom.com.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't have, and I'm still trying to get through all the.
Did you have a
computer stuff,
different
so.
Zoom?
You sent me something back, but I didn't realize that was the actual,
Oh, okay,
yeah.
it's just like the website KW Success Zoom and it takes you right to our Zoom.
Okay.
And then I have a Zoom too that I use, that's Coach Allison, ALYSON.
So really, with Zoom, they all have these different numbers
Yeah,
and
but
large things.
Yeah.
So it's basically, we rename them, so it's something easier.
We just bought domain names and rerouted them to the Zooms.
That's
It's too
sometimes I
confusing.
can't make it to this, and I'm like, I want to watch it all from home, like,
Did I email you back?
yeah, but I
Okay.
didn't understand how to log
Oh, yeah, just type that
You got
in
your phone?
to your browser. You can do it right now.
Yeah, log in right now, so you know how to do it, over here, ask questions on it. I mean, don't ask questions on the Zoom, but ask
Well, you
questions on
can.
logging on.
It's under the app.
No, you just go to a website, just open up like a browser,
So go to your, just go to the email link about Ignite and click the link.
or you can do,
That's how I would do it.
or you can just open a website and type in kwsuccesszoom.com.
What's the problem? You're not Allison Brown, are
Yeah, I am.
She's the Alice.
you? I'm like, I know, I got all these, I'm still learning everything.
That's me. Yeah, we have some cantaloupe and bread and is it raspberry butter for butter? Strawberry butter
It's the Hug S.
from Hug Hess, if you guys want me to I put that out. A little snacky.
KW success.
Zoom.com. So KW,
Sorry, I was just,
you're good. This is helpful for everyone though.
I was trying to figure it out last week.
So you work at FedEx,
Yeah,
so you're dual career, that's what we call that. Don't say you're a part-time agent.
no, I'm a dual
You're
career,
dual
but
career.
I hope to make this my career.
Yeah,
To get out of FedEx eventually, but it's hard because I have a really good job at FedEx. I'm actually an instructor,
okay,
so. I help people get their CDLs, so I get apprentices and then I take them from. No CDL all the way through the training, help them schedule their test, get them set up, and then I train them on. The rest of the stuff, either city or roadside.
FedEx driver, I love it.
So it's hard to say that I want to leave there, but I,
Not the long-term goal, right?
no, this is the long term.
I love it. Well, FedEx has a lot of employees that can afford houses.
Every one of them live.
Especially the service center that I work out, because the ones I work out are the guys you see going down the road with the double and triple.
Mm,
So they're the roadside, they're the ones that are making 130, 140,000. So yeah, they have plenty of money to spend.
They can buy a house, yeah. Did you get it?
I
Did you go to
don't,
the website?
not sure. I got it.
So KWSUCCESS
Then you go to connect.
Zoom.com. Did you do that?
Put it-
And then what does it look like now?
put it into- SUCCESS zoom.com. right?
ZOOM.
Sorry, I'm a little slow.
It's okay.
Tech savvy is not.
It's about to be.
Yes.
How about we start
I've
affirmations?
seen that.
I am tech savvy.
I am now.
Well, let's get this class rolling.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
Well, we'll see if he gets logged in.
But no, I
You can
Work on
yeah,
that.
you can do this right.
yeah, I'll work
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
Is it not doing anything?
Well, it didn't pull me up. So I went into kwsuccesszoom.com.
And it
then
says
pulled
launch.
up Console login, sign in login for KW Connect.
Okay, so
It doesn't show the,
open up your email.
it shows a empires.com.
I bet if you just
Oh,
opened up,
let's don't Google it. Let's just go to like how do you do a website?
I do the same thing.
I don't know how, that's probably why it's not.
I would say go to your email and type in Ignite. And there'll be an email that says Ignite, and one of will have a link.
Right there, yeah.
But I didn't see.
Okay.
I'll update the.
So this is class 5. You
Nine.
got 9. Oh, yeah, it's the one that's, okay, I was looking at the first one that was up there. Class 9, capture your leads.
Hey, I'm Allison Brown. You guys probably have met me a time or two. This is Sean Jenkins. He's our principal broker. A lot of you guys know Eden too, but she's not in the office right now, so we're handling all her stuff. So if you've been communicating with Eden, I just saw your email from her. Just reach out to us instead. We can help you. But we're gonna teach you tonight how to capture the leads. And how to keep them. Cause you can capture them and then somebody else gets them.
So, does everyone know who Gary Keller is? So Gary Keller is he's an author, but he is, one of the founding members of Keller Williams. And, Gary Keller is like an icon within the industry because it is the world's largest real estate company. But not only that, it is one of the only of the large ones that's not publicly traded. So he owns it. Well, each market center is independently owned and operated by a team of owners, but he owns the franchise of KW. And it has got all these other arms. There's all the trainings, there's MAPS coaching, like it's huge.
It's a pretty big beast for sure.
And he is the one who created it. So he's like a true, what I would call a true visionary. And he's got a lot of quotes that he throws out there and people are like, what? But some of them are, do you guys know the old baseball player, Yogi Berra? Am I saying it right? Yogi Berra? And some of his quotes were like, that makes sense, but you don't sound, and sometimes Gary will say something and you're like, what? That's so simple, but yeah, it makes so much sense. So you'll read and see a lot of quotes from Gary Keller. So anyway, does someone want to read this one?
Austin.
You love people, but at the same time, you haven't yet learned to love hunting for them. Which makes sense.
Yeah, and in this industry, any sales industry really, but in this industry in particular, we literally are hunting for them every single day. So if you think of this acronym as we wake up every morning self-employed, okay? And who's gonna hire me today? Who is going to employ me today? And that's your buyers and sellers. So you will wake up every morning going hunting for these people. Now, as you get more established in the business, you always have people coming, so you never feel unemployed. But in reality, if you closed, let's say you had 20 sellers, right? You just had a good year or a good couple months or whatever it was, close all those transactions and you were busy with those transactions and you just made a grundle of money, but you're like, oh crap, now I'm unemployed. Because I don't have any sellers, I don't have any listings, I don't have any buyers. So you literally have to go hunting for people daily. So that's where this quote comes from. I use the space bar on it.
Oh, we are not. Do you even?
I have no idea what that is.
I do, you do.
The
have-
other way.
I go the wrong way. I do think you have to wake up every day thinking you don't have any leads. I know I was listening, there's a podcast also, based off this book called the MRA podcast. And I was listening to it the other day and they were talking about how they only let their agents keep like 10 leads. Cause if you think you have too many leads, you'll quit hunting every day for more leads. So you've got to just keep generating that business. And what happens if you generate too much business? You can refer it out. Yeah, exactly. You got lots of money. You could buy a couple of fourplexes.
You have a pipeline, everything you don't have.
Then you gotta buy a bigger pipe.
That's the goal, right?
So this is kind of our agenda. We're gonna talk about systems that work, prospecting versus marketing, how to get referrals, more sources of business, capture every lead. And can't figure out which way I'm going. Okay, so we're just gonna drill this in about leads, getting leads. Do you guys know what your number one job is?
Go hunt.
Can you give me a hand? Get in front. Yeah, lead generation, relationship building. So find the ways to get in the path of motivated buyers and sellers. I hear a lot, I don't want to bug them, or like, I want them to ask me for help, but they don't know that they need help until you show them that you can help them. Is this the kind of gotta look at the book and the book. So, your message and your method have to match the market. So what's a message that you guys have heard about real estate? Have you guys seen any other realtors marketing, I guess? And what they've been saying in their marketing? What about you? What about you?
All the time. It's
Yeah.
insane.
They market.
I get mailers regularly, I get people knocking on my doors,
Get emails.
I get
all the
emails,
time.
I want so many different people's database lists that. This is a great buy, buy it.
Yeah, open houses this weekend, like a list of open house buyers.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Well, and social media too. A lot of my friends on social media are in business, so I think that's why I see them, but I can't get away from it. Like, it's everywhere.
Yeah, so we have to have our message. We call them MOFers here. So MOFer stands for make offer for immediate response. So, your message, you want it to match your market. So do you think we should be talking about like how low interest rates are right now? Maybe, right? They've been higher.
Kind of dropping.
Yeah.
There's hopes that
Yeah.
the Feds are gonna.
There's also creative ways to get a lower interest rate with some interest rate buy downs with seller concessions. There's the seller finance stuff. There's all kinds of ways, but you want to think about who your niche is and who your target audience is, along with what's happening in the market to make an offer for them. And then you can make a direct offer or an indirect offer. So a direct offer is like, hey, do you want to sign up for this? I brought this, I'm gonna pass it out to you guys. This is one of my thing. How are you doing? But one of my ideal client is sellers moving out of state. I don't love to work with buyers. I will work with them. I'm not gonna turn them, well, no, I do refer a lot out, but I'm not gonna turn like an ideal cash easy buyer away, right? But and in the beginning I worked with anyone, but now over time I've just grown. My ideal client is a seller moving out of state. And so my marketing is built around them, like to what it's gonna take for them to move out of state. So this is just one thing that I branded this to the office, but I have it branded to me. This is like something I give to people. So this would be called a direct offer, like, hey, do you want my tips for getting your home sold now? And then they would fill out a form, we call lead magnets, and then I would capture their information. And then I could send this to them, and then in addition, I could start asking them for more things. Hey, do you want to know what your home value is? Do you need any referrals to spruce up your yard or anything like that? And then a lot of people say like, just listed, just sold, and I think those are great to do for your offer, like especially on social media. However, I think there's better things you can do. you can really niche down, right? Like, are you moving, like for me, I would say, are you moving out of state? Like, contact me for my movers guide. Right, like, cause then it's like easing them into getting me with their real estate help. And then there's other ways like door knocking. So, I know I've gone out door knocking with Judah. We did it for an open house, right? For an open house. And then I've also door knocked for other ways. I've door knocked without an open house where I just say, hey, here's what's happening in your neighborhood. Do you want to know more? Do you want to be more up to date on what's going on in the neighborhood? So you want to have a message, whatever that message is, and then you want to have the method. How are you going to get that message out to people? So there are, see, I'm probably moving ahead on the slides. So leads are everywhere. Who doesn't live in a house? Right? There's a few people, but most people live somewhere. Or so we can, so almost everybody out there is a lead, or everybody out there really is a lead, because there is ways to help people, anyone get a house if they want it, right? If their goal, so everyone's your lead, you've just got to connect with them and then ask them for business. Also, do you guys know any leads? Yeah, right, if you know people, you know leads. Yeah, you're who?
Said everybody.
Everybody, yeah. Any ahas. So prospecting versus marketing. So there's two different ways to get leads. You can prospect for them, which is actively looking for them, or you can market to them. Does someone want to read this quote? You want to, Judah?
Lead generation is a contact sport with simple rules. It means making contact with people through prospecting and marketing.
Yeah, and on, what's today, Tuesday? On Thursday, you guys learned about open houses and social media. So one of those, right, do you guys think those are prospecting or marketing? Do you think open houses and social media is marketing? Or, I mean, and they don't have to both be the same. Like, what do you think open houses is?
I think that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
What about social media,
That'd be more like a prospect.
like prospecting?
But it could be lead generating too. Sort of both.
Yeah, it also sounds like both, because with social media, you can direct message people who are interested in stuff that you posted. That could be a way of prospecting because you're actually involved. Or you can put up social media advertising, and that way you're just letting your social.
Then you're
media
marketing
work
versus
for you.
prospecting?
And build it up.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that-
You're there, you're talking, but you're also prospecting for, you know, possible people, but you're also lead generating because you're talking to everybody and who knows what they're gonna do. I won't talk to their family. Hey, oh, I know somebody that house wants to sell.
Yeah, I think that they could both be either, right, depending on how you're using it. But you're gonna get further faster with prospecting. And I think we get into that. So some ideas, in your book. I'm just trying to follow along the student guide to make sure. Where it should be. Okay, it's after that. So, the likelihood of a move is 7 to 10 years. So sometimes people say, I don't want to talk to them, they just moved, they just bought a house.
I'm gonna interrupt. 7 to 10 years is the average, okay? Now, when you think about when you're younger, you move out of mom and dad's, you probably go, let's say you went to college, then you came back from college, then you moved with some roommates, then you got married. So really, when you're younger, you move way more often than 7 to 10 years. Now, think about your parents. They probably lived in their home for a lot longer than 7 to 10 years. So I think that could be broken down to where if you're at a certain era of your life, not necessarily age, that could be 10 to 17 years, but when you're younger, it could be 3 to 5 years. Right? So you got to think about who your people are.
And like for kind of like what you're saying, my mom bought her house in 1979. She still lives in that baby. Looks basically the same. I have moved 15 times in 20 years of marriage. Like we're just movers. So, so I think it also just depends, you can't count people out for moving, like some people move, some people don't. So, and what if somebody just moved, it doesn't necessarily mean they're not gonna move again, but two, they probably also know people that are moving. Right, cause like when one person starts talking about it, then more people, they start to be like, wait, I wanna do that too, or, oh, we've been thinking about moving too. So they know people that move, so you wanna keep in touch with people. What we see is somebody will make the move and then their agent like won't talk to them, and then they'll be like, oh my gosh, I haven't talked to them for a while. And they'll call them down here, and then they'll be like, oh, I already moved. But really, so you wanna make sure that you're catching up before they're thinking of moving, so that you can follow up with them the whole time that they're thinking of moving, to provide value. And ways you can provide value without, like, you can do market data for them, you can pull their home value for them. You could just give them little tip sheets. One thing I just sent out, I have my database tagged if they have pets, like dogs or cats. And one thing I just sent out, Davis County is doing free spay and neutering for the rest of the year. You sign up through them. So I sent out an email to all my people that have dogs and cats. It's like, hey, from your favorite local realtor, like, no, you can get your dog or cat spayed or neutered, because that's valuable to them, even though it's not real estate related, but it still has my real estate signature on the bottom. It's still coming from me. The monthly neighborhood nurture is a good way to keep up with them, to make sure that you're catching them in that opportune time in between moves. Okay, so prospecting versus marketing. This is page in your book. 9.5. Do you guys, so it's gonna give some ideas on prospecting versus marketing, and then as well as in this book, and when you guys join the office, you'll get a copy of this book. If you haven't already, it comes in your welcome box. Could you just join, right? Have you got your name tag and everything yet? So there'll be a book, if this book will be in there. You've got yours, right, Judah? Okay, and you guys are still in school, right? Okay, but there is a big prospecting versus marketing section in this book as well. This is the like real estate Bible, how to build your business, every system you need. So marketing is money intensive, it's passive, it's long-term results. Have you guys seen a UTA bus driving around with a realtor on it? Or like a grocery store cart with a realtor on it,
Like the benches.
or like a bus bench,
That's just-
yeah, or even a billboard, right? Those are marketing. Prospecting is more time intensive. It's proactive, but it gives you immediate results. So you're gonna go out and find somebody sooner in that prospecting, but it is time intensive. One thing I see a lot is people underestimate how actual time intensive it is to prospectively generate and build those relationships. And they think that by talking to 1 or 2 people a day, they're gonna build their business, and you will over a long period of time. But if you can condense that, the more people you can talk to, the quicker you'll build your business. And prospecting can essentially be free. Like, it's not costing you very much to door knock, if anything, right? Like a little bit of gas, some flyers. So, and there is free marketing as well, like on Facebook and things like that. And I think you have to be prospecting based and marketing enhanced. So here is some prospecting examples. So on the phone or face to face, calling for sell by owners, calling expired listings, circle prospecting. In all of this is done in a TCPA friendly and compliant way. Although do not call list, do not call rules. Circle prospecting, which is just calling that's how I built my business, was honestly on the phone. Just calling neighborhoods. Hey, a home just sold near you. I know when one home sells, 2 or more are gonna list. Have you thought of moving? When do you plan on moving? But you can circle prospect neighborhoods, apartment complexes, recently sold listings, recently listed properties. And circle prospecting for open houses as well, or around an open house too. Community outreach, charity, volunteer work, having key relationships with corporations, builders, banks, third-party data companies, investors, even at your jobs now. So like do you work a job now too? You work somewhere else?
I'm looking for a job right now.
So, yeah,
I was working in elementary school earlier,
okay,
school's out, so.
yeah.
Nothing going on.
So building those key relationships even at your jobs while you're in that dual career mode until you're transitioning into this full time. Cause when you're ready to quit that job, you still want those relationships because they're still gonna buy houses. So, I think that's important. Teaching and speaking opportunities. So, I've had a couple agents here do some like first time home buyer classes or even home seller classes to their people, a VA buyer specific class or VA seller specific class. And you can teach them in this room. We've had agents do that. They've taught them offsite. There's all kinds of, you can create your own teaching and speaking opportunities. I did that, with recruiting. So I teach a Zoom once or twice a month, called 5 Secrets to Making 6 Figures. And I just mass market that to everybody. And then the people I get to come, right, and watch me talk about what are the 5 foundations of building a real estate business. It helps me generate leads to bring into the brokerage. Meals. How would you guys prospect with meals? I don't either know. Do you?
Your neighbors.
Take people to lunch or take people to coffee.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But also,
makes sense.
I mean, how many times, if you think about a waiter or a waitress, they're in the customer service business, right? And guess what? They live somewhere too. So you start a conversation with them, and a lot of times they're pretty outgoing and they know a lot of people, right? Because they're in the customer service business. So you get to know some of them. Let's say you frequent your favorite restaurant and you have, a lot of times you'll have the same person, right? You say to them, you know what, I love this place and I love that you can great serve us. I'm gonna send people here. How about you send people to me as well? Right? Next thing you know, that they're like, so what do? You get into that conversation. And then you have a referral source.
You're right about that. I just got done reading 7 Levels of Communication again. You've probably read that book by Michael Mayer. He teaches in that book about having a restaurant and a regular waitress that you're just going back to all the time, and you basically stack your appointments at, like, so the first guy you meet with, right, you do coffee, the next guy you just do like a little appetizer or whatever, like, so that the people that you're meeting with, but you're sitting there at the restaurant tipping the waitress well, and then she's getting to know that you're meeting with people at that restaurant, so then you build that relationship with the waiter or waitress.
So that same thing is for, we as humans, we're creatures of habit, right? We go to the same restaurants, we go to the same grocery store. Sometimes you pass a grocery store or pass a gas station, you go to your favorite one, right?
Or get in a longer line to go to your favorite checker.
Yes, sometimes you
I've done
so,
that.
so we are creatures of habit, so why not get a relationship with those? So, yeah.
Yeah.
And you gotta keep in mind, depending on what you currently are doing, there's people who are trying to get in a relationship with you, you just haven't noticed. Because to them, you're a resource.
So, door-to-door canvassing, that's one of my favorite things. I love door knocking. Some people hate it, and that's okay. There's plenty of other choices on here. And there's other choices beyond this, but I do like door knocking. I like being in front of people. I like being outside. All of that's, fun stuff. And it's honestly not as scary as you think if you're not this like aggressive curvy guy. So, networking events, we have a really big one coming up in August. 13th. The 18th, I think that sounds right. In Austin, Texas. I love going to it's called Mega Agent Camp. I like going to that. It's funny, last year I went and you didn't go to the Mega Camp last year, but there was this guy walking around. I'm sure it's on YouTube. There's this guy walking around with like a big, I don't remember what state he was in now. I think it was Louisiana, and it was like a giant cardboard L, like in the shape of Louisiana with a QR code. And he was like, add me to your referral networks, because he wanted your referrals to Louisiana, right? And then I still get emails from him like, hey, you're 30% referral partner or whatever. So those networking events really make a difference. I have even gone to networking events in Salt Lake. Just recently, Rusty and I went to a Women's Council networking event in Salt Lake. And there were people that came up from Utah County. I'm not gonna work Utah County, and that lady in Utah County is not gonna work Weber County, so we were able to exchange information and be able to pass referrals that way. So even in-state ones matter. Booths and kiosks, I did do a booth at the Bountiful Farmers Market one time. Didn't stick with it.
There's a lot of people that do tons of those.
The wedding, bridal shop, bridal expos.
They do the lawn and garden shows, they
Mhm.
do the builder expos. I think you gotta kind of know your audience, but I think like maybe doing the boat show may not be the best place. Right, or maybe.
Or
the-
maybe it
the Gun
is.
show may not be the best place, but you never know, I've never done them, maybe it is the best. place.
People probably do need a bigger house for their bigger boat.
Or their gun stash.
Yeah.
All-
And then walk-ins, we need, we don't get, we have got walk-ins here though.
I don't know if walk-ins are as popular as they used to be because of everything is online now. And I think we as consumers would rather go online to find something than to walk in a door. But a long time ago, before the internet got as popular as it is, or as user friendly as it is, they used to walk in places, I think, go looking for
Mhm.
information.
Well, and that's, so holding a open house, like at a new construction home, it would be like that, like you could market that and then, but then they could walk in. And get with ya. So here's some marketing examples. So you could take an ad out on the radio. I've heard a couple of those before. You could take an ad out on TV. You could
Definitely go and look at.
even have in the newspaper, huh?
Look at it for eight.
They are a bit
more.
Yellow
They do.
pages.
That poor Dax.
But what they do, you can look up the old pages on.
Do they have
Online.
an online version now?
I don't know if people use.
Well, Google search engine, the new yellow pages. Personal vehicles, I can't do that. You don't do that either, right?
I have my stuff on my truck.
Just on your license plate, do you have your?
On
phone
my
number?
license plate, but I have my logos on my truck, but it doesn't have all my contact information either.
Yeah, I can't do that. Or I guess I could, but I don't want to because I don't wanna make a mistake in traffic.
Touch more on that, because I was thinking of putting signs on my car, so.
Well, okay, so does FedEx have any secret vehicles?
Secret vehicle?
Yes. No,
not branded.
they have
Do they have
everything.
any
everything-
unbranded
everything
vehicles?
They
FedEx
do,
on.
the, like, personal stuff, that's, yeah, it's not brand. But like, they're, like the security guy that drives around, checks stations, his car's not brand.
But
Right.
99.9% of the FedEx
Everything
cars
is
on the road
branded.
is branded.
And I'm gonna say that they wouldn't spend millions and millions of dollars branding everything if it didn't work.
So, but then she said she didn't wanna have
Me personally.
a problem in traffic, what do you?
Well, like if I cut someone off or something.
You know what, I would be fine, because I'm used to driving around with a branded truck all my life, so.
So
But-
mine doesn't have my contact info, but it's more of like brand recognition.
A lot of agents do drive around, I mean, I see them in our parking lot all the time. They get like branded moving trucks, plus they'll
Yep.
brand their cars.
Yeah,
Do you just have like a
Trailers.
decal or do you have like your truck wrapped?
No, just a decal.
Decal.
So I had a training business once. Remember I told you I had a lot of businesses. I had a training business. My ex-wife has a training business. And we both had Hummers that were completely wrapped with the name of it. And I got asked all the time. I got asked to, hey, will you pull our float at parade? Like I got asked, like it got a lot of attention because it was wrapped.
I've seen those in parade, actually.
Yeah.
They're great last year, I've seen lots of real cars.
Yeah.
but-
It was wrapped with the training company stuff on there, not the real
Right,
stuff,
yeah.
but it was, people were constantly asking about it.
This was a Hummer.
Well, it could be, but it was different because it was wrapped too.
I love it. Okay, grocery carts, we've seen those. Moving vans, we've seen those. I mean, with that being said, my husband drove around a branded trailer for his business. I just didn't.
A lot of people will have, like the moving truck or the moving trailer. And because if it's not being used, it's parked somewhere advertising. So Just don't park it in the back of your house where no one can see it.
The ones that got me here, Renee and Luke,
Mhm.
they have a moving truck. I used it when I bought my house.
Yeah.
Used it to move my stuff there.
Mm-hmm. They take that thing to our events, like Corey and Rhonda take their motorhome to stuff. And just get your name out there. Yeah.
I'm not gonna, does anyone here work for the IRS?
Secretly.
So they have a motorhome that is 100% wrapped, like the whole thing, which motorhome's not small, right?
Right.
Guaranteed 100% of that's written off. So it's like, hey, you wanna go to Yellowstone? Sure, let's jump in the motorhome. Why not? Marketing the whole way.
So we can do online advertising, pay-per-click advertising, SEO, which is search engine optimization, which is basically the new Yellow Pages. Social media, portals, I don't know what portals is. Anyone know what that is?
Means
However, what I do know is that Command we have a proprietary agreement with Facebook, which with Meta, right? So Facebook, Instagram. I know we even have TikTok on there now, and you can do Google advertising right through Command, and it's. Since we have a agreement with them that we're not gonna sell any information, they give us higher priority. So when I push out like open house ads on my social media, I get more contacts from that than if I wasn't doing it through Command. So I really, I think online advertising is really good. I wish I knew what portals were. I'll have to look that up. So broadcasting or content creation, like little radio segments, TV shows, live social media or blogs. And one thing, I don't remember if it was you, Judah, I was showing, or someone else. Your Command website, your Keller Williams website comes branded to you, already built up, and it already has 4 blog posts written about how to be a first-time home buyer. And then you can write additional blog posts like each week or something like that, like what, you live in Davis County, right, Judah? So you could do like life in Davis County blogs or something like that on your, on there. I used to do, live social media things. I used to call them the Friday 5. And it was 5 tips about whatever on Friday, whether it was about buying a home, selling a home, living in Davis County, living in Utah in the winter, like 5 tips about going to the zoo, like whatever. I just made up random things every Friday. I haven't done that in about a year. But that worked pretty good because it got consistent. So people would start following me more and more. Direct mail, so postcard campaigns, special event cards, just listed, just sold cards, and quarterly market updates. Those are great ways to market. Promotional items and swag. Public relations and press, like do a news release or write an advice column. And then sponsorship, so sponsoring like a kid's, or maybe not even a kid's, but sponsors. Like I sponsored my daughter's softball team every year when she was in high school. Just different things like that. I try to buy every time someone asks me. So I don't want all your like fundraising stuff now, but every time somebody does a fundraiser, I try to buy from it because then it's me helping them, right, with their fundraisers, kind of like me sponsoring them. Any other marketing thoughts that you guys have seen? Maybe unique things that you guys have seen out there in real estate marketing? Okay, now there's some that are both. So we talked about the open house being both. And we talked about social media being both. Which I think it is if you're direct messaging people. So you can do geographic farming or demographic farming. You want to be careful, make sure you're following the fair housing laws with the demographic farming. Geographic farming, I think you can also do that with open houses or seminars or events. So basically like where I like to do where I live. So where do you live at?
Syracuse.
So like in Syracuse, they just had Syracuse days like this past weekend, right? So you could do something in the parade at Syracuse days. You could only have everything about Syracuse stats. And it's not that you won't work with people outside of Syracuse, but it's that you're going to be the master of knowledge, real estate knowledge of Syracuse. You're going to know all the community events going on. You're going to know what sold in Syracuse, what's for sale in Syracuse, what didn't sell in Syracuse. So you could host all the open houses in your geographic farm to build more brand recognition for you. And then demographic would be, I've seen people do, they don't, I haven't heard it called. It's called like a digital mayor. That's like, so I've seen people do like social media farming. Where they try to have like a gym. Social media, but it's like a mix of gym and real estate. So they're attracting people that go to the gym and want to buy and sell houses. Events like open houses, hosting seminars, like we talked about. Hosting a contest, having client appreciation events. We have our office. Provide some client appreciation events for you. We have our KW Carnival Red Bash coming up on August 8th. I think it was $100 to participate, and you can invite whoever you want to come to that. And it'll be a little fun carnival for people to come to, and that's a fun, easy way to just invite people and talk to people about the event we're having. And hey, I'm in real estate now. Would you guys want to come to this carnival event? It's free for them, and I believe there's gonna be food and lots of games. Sounds like tons of games. I think you're getting in the dunk tank, baby.
I'm not.
Oh, Ken, I bet it was Ken that said he would do it then. So they get in the dunk tank. Networking, so with your sphere, with past clients. Allied resources, which are like your #1 fans and your vendors in the business. And networking with other agents, that could be both prospecting and marketing. And then you can buy leads, so purchasing through referral network, things, or advertising, or even just buying leads and clientele. I think a lot of people think that if they could just buy leads, they're gonna have instant business, and that's all they need is just to get leads. Do you guys have an opinion on that?
So I worked for a guy. He was sort of mentoring me a little bit on sales, and he worked on remodels. He would go to Service Magic and buy the sales leads. And then I would run down appointments for him. We did not generate a lot of business that way. It was tough. He would pick one that he thought was a good one, and send me off run it. We never closed the deal once.
Oh, really?
So I know people, and Zillow maybe have changed this since these people, they were spending 15 to 20 grand a month. And in their mind, if they closed a portion of those leads that they would get, if they were getting lots of leads, that it would be worth it. And then over time, they started doing half that, and then it became half of that, and then half of that. And what they were finding was people were just looking for information, and it was just time sucker, but it wasted a lot of money and a lot of energy chasing down leads that they could have just done an open house.
Yeah, because the serious buyers are probably out looking at houses. We have some stats on internet leads. They take like 18 months to close, so you have to be willing to consistently follow up with them, like 36 to 50 times over 18 months. To be able to get them to close. Do you guys know what AHA stands for? This is my favorite thing I learned. You do, right? You were there. With Steven, agents helping agents. Do you guys, anything you took away from that? Do you guys want to be a prospector or a marketer? Do you picked a lead source you want to work? What is it?
The AHA Mo. So I go to Subway down by work I've been going there for years. The ladies know my sandwich.
Yeah, they see you pull in, you're already started, probably.
I walk in, they know exactly what I have, and I know them on a personal level. I even know the owner of the building, because it's her business. I'm thinking, man, there's a good sales lead right there for me. Just, let them know that, hey, I'm doing this now. Cause they know me as my first name, and everything. That I walk in, like I said, I don't even have to say anything, and my sandwich goes all the way to the end. When you said that one about the thing, I was like, Subway, I
But
gotta remember that.
really makes a difference is it becomes a fair trade item. Hey, this is my favorite Subway, obviously, because I come here all the time. You know my sandwich, and I want to be able to share this experience with people, but I would love it if you shared what I do with other people as well.
Well, and I do that, to take all my students there. So they're like, oh, you got another student this
Oh,
week. And I'm
yeah.
like, yeah, they're like, "Oh, you're bringing in another one, I'm like, "All right."
Yeah, that'd be good. What about you? Any takeaways?
I mean, I've been in Utah now for a year and it still feels
Kinda,
random.
because you were gone for a couple months,
Yeah,
right?
it still feels like I'm settling in to some extent. We have our favorite restaurants, but we always go through the drive-through. And we have our favorite stores, but we really run into like 2 greeters on the way in, 2 greeters on the way out. So I'm gonna have to get that. a little bit.
Yeah, put yourself out there more.
But what I said earlier is what you focus on expands. Now we're talking about it. Now you're gonna be paying attention to it. And I see that you're wearing your name badge. Someone will ask you about it.
Yeah.
Just from that, you could be pumping gas and you have a name badge on. Someone goes, oh, you're in real estate? I heard blah, right? And you're like, oh, you know what? That's actually not too accurate. However, I could get your email and send you some stuff. Right? So you start a conversation.
I
All
went,
of it.
I went to a dinner and I had my Keller Williams jacket on and I was just meeting a bunch of ladies I'd never met before for dinner. And when I went there, I forgot I even had my Keller Williams jacket on and they all brought it up to me. Like, and there was like 10 people at that dinner. So,
It's pretty easy to meet people and complete strangers and have conversations. It's actually, sometimes it's fun.
yeah, I think you gotta,
All,
oh, I bet.
all.
Did they say you lost my package? You know where it's at?
No, they just go, you want FedEx? And
Was it
start going on and on,
Castaway?
you know, that's-
Wasn't he FedEx?
Oh,
What's that?
Which
one? The one that was
Wilson?
kicking them, the whole-
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Wilson.
Wilson. FedEx. Cause at the end, he delivers the package to the,
If you wonder how much money FedEx paid to be that sponsored that.
Fred Smith's actually in that movie, the
Oh,
owner of FedEx. He's actually in the movie at the very end. If you watch it, when he's giving him the award.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I think, I heard a story, Judah, about a guy, who I know him, I know this agent, his name is Steve, he stopped doing online banking, like direct digital deposits or mobile deposits. And he would take every check ever. He didn't want the office direct depositing him his checks. He wanted to go into the bank as much as he could, because he was building relationships with all of those tellers. So he was intentionally like making life a little harder, right? So that he could build deeper relationships with the people at the bank. And he did that in all ways. So like instead of going to the drive up at Subway, go in and meet the people. Like if you're gonna be going there consistently.
So I used to send out mailers, which a lot of people don't do for media anymore, but I used to send out just listed cards, those little postcards that you guys see, right? And then I would send out sometimes open house postcards and then just sold postcards. But I used to heavily market this one area. And I used to market a ton of it. And so I actually she didn't live in the neighborhood. She never received a postcard. She was going through a divorce. She called me off my postcards and you know who she worked for? The post office. She just saw my postcards always going through, so that's where she called me from.
That's cool.
So you never really know. She never physically received one. She just saw somebody and go through this guy. She thought this guy must crush it. And so she called me.
Which is the same like open house strategy, like hosting an open house in your neighborhood over and over and over. The neighborhoods, people are gonna start to think you're the expert, you are the agent in the neighborhood. Even if they're not. What about you guys? Any ideas?
Yeah, I just like, kind of like what we've all been talking about it about. Just kind of thinking about all the interactions that we dodge on a daily basis because of technology and the leisure that we've created. Like, I don't have to talk to anyone
Mm-hmm.
to go about my day, but instead like making sure that I put in the extra effort to talk to people so that I can like start this conversation with strangers and see where it goes. Cause
Yeah.
it's really not that hard. We inadvertently dodge like a billion social interactions every day.
So I'm not
So
gonna,
true.
I heard this stat before, we Googled it back in the day. I'm not gonna say what the number one conversation was, I'll let you guys Google it.
The
But
weather.
let's Google the 3 most talked about conversations or 3 most talked about topics. And I bet real estate's gonna be in the top 3.
Ooh, love it.
What are the 3 most talked about conversations?
See if they're still the same. the three most talked about topics, let's pass that one.
Talk about topic.
I wonder if it's still COVID. It's probably COVID for a while. It was what?
It was up there for a little bit. That's probably politics.
His algorithm's off.
It's an election year, suspected politics to be honest.
It says,
It's TikTok.
I got the workforce, the environment and recession, housing market and the economy.
Oh,
So,
so housing.
all kinds of-
Yeah, well, and what was your first one?
The
The workforce. So people say, what do you do? You're like, hey, what do you do for work? And then they're like, this, what do you do? Right? And that's bringing up real estate to you. But in addition to they're talking about real estate market and the economy. Yeah,
Now, I don't like, you're not, the number one was, or one of them was recession.
Uh-huh.
I
That
mean,
was
you
the
guys had a
same one.
conversation about the recession.
Only
One or
with
two,
my
but not-
close friends, yeah.
What did you get when you did it?
did you Google it, Javon?
Oh, yeah, pulled up, TikToks.
Oh,
That's
Yeah, I was
what
like,
pulled.
pulled up TikTok,
Well, TikTok is in that lawsuit. That's probably why.
sustainable aviation fuel.
That's what I got, that's the same list.
So.
I'm not having any issue. Yeah, I don't know.
So when we did it before, number one was sex, number two was weather, number three was real estate.
Sex isn't even on the list anymore.
Talk about the recession.
Yeah, just like you said, we don't have to talk to anyone if we don't want to.
I think of myself as like a professional friend maker. Like I'm out there to meet as many people and make them my friends as I can because that's who's gonna buy and sell with me. Two. Okay, how am I gonna get referrals from the people that I do meet? So. This is from client referrals.
Oh, you're not wearing your thing.
Yeah,
That's a plus.
Should be.
Nobody but McKell. So we are going to get our client referrals by providing value. So values we can provide are like this. We call these one pagers a lot, or loafers. So you can provide like a one-page sheet of value. You can share your Keller Williams app. Do you know why that's providing value to people? Do you guys know why that would be valuable?
What was it?
The Keller Williams app. Why would sharing that be valuable?
What's on that?
Houses. You can search for
There's
houses.
no way to search for houses, and like how he said. Like for you, when they like mark it, they like it or something, how you're able to view that,
Mhm,
so then you're able to go and make that connection about like a house they possibly like.
mhm. Yeah, and then you can send them more like that, and then I think it's really valuable because we're not selling their information. We keep it, if they have any of the big apps, those people are selling their information to agents.
Directly between.
So I'm like, it keeps what you're doing private with me. So I think that's a value for people to use the Keller Williams app. You can share market statistics. You will start getting an email every month from the MLS. I think it just came out yesterday with the Utah market statistics, and then we show you guys how to pull market statistics within specific areas, but those are helpful to people, especially if, was that the number 3 conversation was about the economy? Right, so that is providing value to people. Provide a vetted vendor list, so who are the painters, you probably know a ton of people in construction, right, Javon, like, who could we refer out for this, remodel job they're doing, or, I just heard another agent today, that somebody was like, I don't wanna mow my lawn, it's too hot this summer. And so he was like, I know a kid starting a lawn mowing business, right? So you're just being the connector of people. The biggest way to get referrals is number 2. You just gotta ask for them. You just gotta say, hey, you're pretty cool, Sean. Like, I bet you know more cool people. Do you know any cool people that I could work with in real estate? Anybody looking to buy or sell? So just however you wanna ask for a referral, ask for it. There's lots of ways, and we talked about a lot of those in conversation yesterday too. Giving a reward for referrals. So, I do not know if what I do is kosher, but I'll tell you and you tell me if I should stop. No, I'm sure it's fine. If somebody tags me on social media, I immediately email them a $5 Starbucks gift card. Like the minute I see the tag. Cause I wanna reward that behavior. Like I would rather them keep tagging me on social media. If they call me or somebody says that they referred me to them, or they call me directly with contact information, or somebody calls me and says this person referred me. I mail them what's called a Brightbox. It's from brightbox.com. They're just a little local company here out of Centerville. And I spend about $20 to $30 curating a little fun box that they're gonna get in the mail in 3 days. And then if I meet with the people, then I do another little referral gift similar to the Brightbox. I've been doing those JBLs, but a little more expensive. I've been doing those little JBL speakers with the hooks. For those, if I get an appointment with the person, and then once they close, then I usually give them a Minky blanket, the person that referred me business. I learned my referral system actually from this, something similar to that, where just like at checkpoints in the transaction or in the referral, they get rewarded.
So you refer to
Mhm.
applying through other progresses.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Well, here's what the law states is that you can't like go advertise or make a deal, like, let's say you go to your friends or family or you put on social media that, hey, for every referral you'll give me or that you'll send me, I'll give you block. You can't legally do that. However, if you're rewarding the behavior and they say, well, why did I get this? Why did I get that? Then you can explain. You can, in reverse, you can explain for every person who gives me a referral, like this is the kind of stuff I do. But in fact, those who give me a lot of referrals get into my VIP program. Oh, really? What's the VIP program? And you're like, send me more referrals and you'll find out. Right? And you're like, I gotta go create a VIP program. But the VIP program that a lot of people that have done this for years and have created is like, it's a small group of people that give multiple referrals. They not just one here and there, it's like multiple a year. They also bought and sold homes with that person. But they get like concert tickets, they get things like that because they're getting stuff regularly because they're sending business regularly.
Staying consistent.
They're staying consistent. So it may be something that you put in your future business is, hey, I want to be able to create a VIP program. So
There's an agent here, at our market center, but a different office. He does baseball tickets. For people like that.
Yeah, I worked for a large brokerage a long time ago. And for
You still
every,
do?
well, this particular one, we would have, if our agents hit a certain volume. But now our commission structure is completely different than here. We had like a version of an agent VIP program, if
Yeah,
you will.
yeah.
But they use only scripts. And it's like, why wouldn't we take that and build that into our clients?
So that happened at the brokerage I was at before here. Like you get to go to Hawaii, they bought your 3 days of the hotel or whatever. But then when I like was counting the commission difference, I could have bought myself 3 trips to Hawaii.
So I know when I create something like that for our best
Yeah,
clients.
our clients. Yeah. For sure. So I think but I like rewarding them with that $5 Starbucks thing every time they tag me because I want to reward that behavior. Like I want to keep getting tagged on social media. If they call me, I want to reward that behavior. And then thank them with a handwritten note. So they do get a handwritten note also in the mail. I'm a fan of handwritten notes. We are at this office. You guys probably all got one from Eden. You interviewed with her. Also, she's a big fan of them as well. But handwritten notes they really do go a long way for people. Also, do you guys have you ever sent a referral to somebody and got a great reward? Or a great experience or a bad experience where you like, I'm not gonna refer them again. They didn't even acknowledge the referral.
I've had both.
Yeah, I've had both too.
Oh crap, I forgot to call those people. I need to send like, too late now.
Okay, agent to agent referrals. We have Command that has a referral applet in it where you can send referrals around. So I just had some clients sell a house here in Layton and they were moving to Tennessee, so I sent the referral through Command, and one thing that I think is pretty cool is I got to watch what that agent was doing, like when he would take notes on what was happening with the client, I got to see it, like the notes on there, so I liked that I could keep in touch with what he was doing on there. And the way I met him, his name was Corey, the guy I sent the referral to, was through asking other agents in the business, who would you refer to in Tennessee? Because I didn't have a Tennessee referral yet. But I like to have people pick a state a week and go find a referral partner in that state that you're building a relationship with. So you're maintaining that relationship with them, so they're gonna send you business, you're gonna send them business. I'm surprised how many people, I don't know why I'm surprised by this, but I'm really surprised how many people move out of Utah and then move back to Utah. Or like, it's like, I don't know if we're just like a transient state, but I feel like a lot more people move in and out of Utah than other states. Maybe I'm wrong. I wonder if it's because there's so many missionaries and they travel so much, so they wanna get out, I don't know. You wanna
I
maintain,
wonder if it's, cause they wanna go to certain schools
oh yeah, maybe.
or they join the
Or the Air
military and
Force.
they leave, yeah, and they leave for, 3 or 4 years, whatever it is.
Yeah, cause I just got my aunt under contract today and she is moving here from Maryland, but she's lived in Maryland 30 years. But she's
So-
like, now I'm coming back.
Where-
Has everyone grew up here?
Waldorf, so right outside.
No, yes, no,
But I haven't tried.
on and off.
What was the question?
Did you guys grow up here? So, when I was young, I grew up here and I'm old now, I'm in my fifties now. But when I was young, I did not like Utah. I wanted to move out. I wanted to move away. I wanted to go experience the world. And as I got older and traveled and saw all these different places, yeah, there were a lot of cool places to visit. But I realized we have the best of everything here in Utah, and I never want to not.
Yeah, and that's why
That
you
makes
wanted
sense.
to,
So what was that?
I was gonna ask why you wanted to move when you. were
I think it was a lot, and this is not a religious conversation, but I think it was a lot of, you hear of these other cultures. Like for some reason, I was infatuated with like San Diego. I had family that lived in Chicago, so I was infatuated with Chicago. Like I wanted to explore different atmospheres, if that makes any sense.
Branch out.
And then people from outside of Utah would always say, Utah, oh, you guys are such a strict state, you have all these weird rules. And you believe it, and right, so we did have some, back in the day, we had some different, what would they call them, private club rules. But in reality, it wasn't much different than when you're in New York, you gotta walk in a place and you got a cover charge, what's the difference? Like, it really wasn't really any different. But I learned cause I went to New York a handful of times thinking it was the coolest place on earth. And I'll tell you, it's cool for 3 or 4 days, but I could never live there. And
Cool to visit.
it's cool to visit, but it's not cool to live there. But it's one of those things where you wanted to experience other things, but then when you do, you realize how good we have it. And I think the rest of the world has now figured that out, and that's why we have so many people here. And it's just gonna get more so.
Yeah. Makes a lot of sense.
So none of you guys all said you're not all the way from here, you've all lived in another state?
I'm from
I
Idaho,
was
so it's
born
a similar
in
story.
I've moved away 3 times because back in the day, like you're saying, I'm closer to your age, so back in your day, we lived in a bubble. Utah was like, every other state was so cool compared to ours, because we couldn't do this, or we couldn't do
Yeah.
that, and
I really think the Olympics is what opened it up.
yeah, and
Changed it.
that's when everything started changing, and, new things were coming into Utah, but for a long time, it was a very straight-laced place.
Yeah. I think when the Olympics came, we got more exposed to more types of food, more restaurants, more bars, more nightlife. I think it opened up the world to
When
like.
they changed the laws
here.
for the Olympics too, with our liquor laws and stuff, so a lot of that stuff changed too.
So you're from Idaho?
Yeah, so it's a similar story. I was always like, man, I wanna get out of here, and then I went on a mission to Maryland, and I was like, this is cool. But I wanna go back to like Idaho or Utah, cause it's nice here.
You said on and off?
Yeah, so I was born in Spring Creek, Nevada, yeah, country living, but I've traveled a lot actually, cause I used to fight as well, kind of do still on and off.
Like MMA fight?
Taekwondo, but yeah, kind of same sense, like
Oh, what
get out
is
in the ring and fights.
He just.
But And kind of same thing I do, I realize that I love Utah, cause I also snowboard, so like, that's one of the things that keeps me here, and I mean, there's not like, there's a lot in Utah, but there's not a lot of. Like nonsense like you have in those other states, you know what I mean, that's kind of how I view a lot of the other states, there's a lot of chaos going down half the time. Like, why throw yourself there 24/7 and live there? You know what I mean, so
Other states are very dirty too.
that,
Utah is a very clean place. All the
Yeah,
places
it's
I've
a
traveled,
well-rounded place. for
Yeah,
sure.
well rounded. Yeah, so I love, the DC area, I love it because of all the cultures, the different people, that's what makes it more interesting. And I think Utah, other than DC, has more of that than it ever has, and it could be because of the LDS church. Because we send these missionaries out all over the world, you know, because a large part of them come from Utah. Then they find their love of their life in whatever country, Ghana or wherever they're at,
Their-
and they bring
their
them home.
missions
They bring them
here.
back. Yeah, so I really think that we've been, as a state, we've all been blessed with the exposure to better foods. Like, it's just, we have more to choose from than when we were kids, for sure. And I think that's one of the reasons why I love it. And if you get bored, like, you can really fly anywhere from our airport.
Yeah, we have.
Travel
bigger
down,
foot.
go to
Yeah,
Boston.
and we're kind of not necessarily in the middle, but we are, you know.
We're not in the flyover states, though. So you guys, with all of you being or having experience in other states too, make sure that you're getting referral partners in those states. Cause cause what you focus on expands, so you've been to those states, you've lived in those states, you're gonna have people in there, like I was able to refer my aunt to an agent in Maryland because, and I had built a relationship with that agent for 6 years, knowing my aunt was eventually gonna retire and move back here. So I think it's a really good thing to start getting. That's a perfect place to start getting referral agents, is in those other states. This is a view of Command's referral network, so you can pick by the map, you can pick by their production, you can pick by how long they've been an agent.
One of the coolest things in Command, which you guys will learn it, when you get a new place referral, there's what they call a broadcast referral. So you can put in the gist of your people, not all the information, but you can broadcast it out to.
10 agents or
Yes, 10
something.
agents, 20 agents, and they respond back with why they should get your referral. Like, it's pretty cool, so you don't have to spend the time doing a bunch of research, you could pick out of the top 3, get on the phone and kind of interview them real quick and say, I think you're my guy, I think you're my girl to work with these people.
And one mistake I made was I didn't ask my clients what they wanted in the next agent, and then they didn't go with my referral. So I think always be asking your clients what they're wanting in an agent, and then you can ask the referral agent those questions. Keller Williams is worldwide, people. But also, if there's not a Keller Williams in that area, or you have an agent that's not with Keller Williams, you can still send a referral to them outside of that. We have lots of ways to network. That we just opened Argentina, right? Is that the newest?
Yeah, that's the one that Johnny's part of.
I think, is that the newest one though?
I don't know if it's the newest.
Oh.
I just wanna look at which ones they don't have and go try to find some on there.
Scoop in and buy a region. Business to business referrals. So that would kind of be like your Subway, right? Like, I'm gonna refer people to Subway, you refer people back to me. We get a lot of like car salesmen, like I have a guy that I'll refer. His name's Ryan, like all the people that want to buy a car to him, and he'll refer people back to me. As well as you're gonna need a lot of vendors in this business, right? You're gonna need the roofers, you're gonna need the plumbers, you're gonna need a home warranty company, a home inspection company, a lender, so you can give them referrals and say, hey, I've given you 5 referrals this year, when can I expect one back? And if they're like never, then find a new referral partner for those. Oh, where's ahas? Any ahas? That was boring, that was a worthless session, is that what you're saying?
Like, I'm at a point where I know a lot of this stuff is gonna be super useful later, but I need people to work with to actually like experiment with, you know, like examples in my own life of doing this properly or improperly before some stuff's gonna click. I talked with Mikkel a little bit about farming, because he's
Yep,
done a lot
he's
of
a
that.
farmer.
He's a big farmer. But he started doing that like a year and a half in. And he already knew the people in the neighborhood that he was living, and then he farmed that neighborhood for like a decade, for like forever. But at the same time, there was a process that led up to that wouldn't be grouped in with farming in the first place.
Right.
It was the prospecting, the marketing, the research that was done. Whoever knows how many homes were sold and how many homes were bought before any of that stuff happened. So I'm just having, like, that's kind of where I'm at. I need more of that personal experience with prospecting and marketing.
Okay, so this next section right here is on the geographic farming. So, does everyone love where they live? Yeah. Okay, so what I would suggest is pick two farms, the farm that you live in, then the farm that you want to live. Start knocking on those doors and just introduce yourself as the neighborhood realtor. Right? Start
The local
introducing.
expert, yeah, the
Yeah.
local real estate. expert.
And you get to know some of these people, some of your neighbors don't know, right? You might know one or two of them, but most probably don't know all of them. Get to know your people, and a lot of it is just offering them something of what I'm gonna call a value, right? And the things of value is, hey, I'm a local expert, I'm a local professional, and there's not a home in our neighborhood that goes on the market or gets sold without me knowing of it. And I want to be able to share that information. Is that something that you feel might be useful? And most of the time, they're gonna say yes. The first time they might not say yes, but in time they will say yes. But in time, you're building the research of the average home in our neighborhood, this area that you pick. Has 2,712 square feet, has 2.5 baths and 4 bedrooms, right? You start sharing that type of information. Then in time, you get more and more and more data. They find that stuff more and more useful. So then in time, when they think of real estate, because they've gotten your newsletter, they've talked to you several times, they know you as the expert. So you're gonna be the one, they're gonna assume that when a home comes on the market, that it's gonna be you listed. Right? So pick two neighborhoods, pick the one you live in and the one that you want. Because you will move, right? So why not,
Start farming that
yeah,
now.
why not be specific about it?
One thing he kept saying was in time. So that means like you have to do it over and over. Don't just door knock the neighborhood once, don't just pass out flyers once, you gotta keep doing it over.
But then do the open houses in there,
Mhm.
right? So if you do an open house in your neighborhood, even if it's not your list, you do an open house in the neighborhood and you're knocking the doors, inviting people to the open house. Even though you just knocked on their door a week before, talking about your newsletter, but now you're doing an open house, right? So now you've come across twice, so that first time they're like, no, not interested. Second time, they're like, the Johnsons have hired you to do an open house, that's pretty cool, right? So now that little brick wall is starting to come down. Right, and then it could be, hey, I noticed you have XYZ doing your landscaping, is that someone who you refer? Because I've had a couple of them in the neighborhood ask. Right, so now they're like, yeah, I love my landscaper, I want him to get more business, so here's his contact info. So now you're, going back and forth with stuff. That's how those relationships are built.
For you, just you had brought that up, like you're kind of struggling with where you're at, so I like to gamify stuff. So if you make it a game, like how many new friends can I meet today and put in my command, right? And then how deep can I help the friendship go? Like, I think we had talked about that, like if you met like a couple. You and your wife have your favorite restaurants or whatever, maybe inviting them to go with you guys to dinner one time and just trying to start building deeper relationships with people. Not everybody's gonna be your people to build a deep relationship with, but you can still follow up with them over time and strengthen their relationships, which I think is on Thursday. The class, but cause you door knocked 50 doors this week, last week, how many contact information did you get from that?
0. There were only like 7 people that were even home in the first place. And out of those 7, only maybe 2 actually held a conversation long enough for me to bring up anything beyond the open house before they just got
Okay,
ready to go. So not my neighborhood.
yeah,
Yeah, not my neighborhood.
yeah, or it could be if you keep going back, right, in time.
Yeah, I don't really like the neighborhood.
Yeah,
But
then
it's
pick
an
a different one.
opportunity to go on, so I
Yep.
took it, but I'm already starting to piece together the areas that I'm more comfortable. Places that I like door knocking, so.
Yeah.
It was a good experience for me in that regard.
Yeah, I love it. And I would door knock, so, my friend, at this office, his name is Wade, he had sold a listing like in a little townhouse thing in West Haven, and so we went door knocking when it was listed, then we went door knocking when it was under contract, and then we went door knocking when it was sold, and then I got a listing right then and there, like at the door, but we had door knocked that neighborhood 3 times in like 45 days. Cause we were like, people in these townhouses are moving. Like, they're moving fast, so I think we worry that we're bugging people too much, but if you're providing valuable information to them, you're not bugging them. And if they don't wanna know the information, you'll know by the way they treat you at the door, and then you'll move on to the next door. Too.
Well, let me give you guys an example. Sometimes, okay, so has everyone here been to Arsenal?
Oh,
Okay, so my example is, and I'm sure it's probably still this way, when you first walk in the door, there's like, what, 122 people ready to pounce on you because they wanna say something,
122 people.
right? Doesn't it feel like that sometimes? Isn't it often that?
At least 10 jump on you.
And in reality, they should just train and do a different approach, because what they haven't realized is we've already done our research. We already know they have the fridge and the TV we want. We're just going to check it out, right? And probably even buy it. So they had a different approach, because then we get back past those 122 people, right? We fight through the lions and tigers to get to the TV or fridge. Now you're looking around going, damn it, I need someone to answer my question. There's no one here because they're all at the front door. So in reality, those people, they're not bugging you, or they feel like they're bugging you because you don't feel like you need them, but then in 3 minutes, you now need them. So think of that as you're knocking on someone's door. You feel, in your mind, you feel like you're bugging them, but in reality, if that one person needs you to answer the question about the TV or the fridge, you're gonna be thankful they're there.
One and the same thing, that people at the door may not think that they need you until you're like, no, I'm just providing information, and then they'll be interested, and then they do need you.
So it's not bugging you if they need the information.
So geographic farming is, like picking an area, like he was saying, that you live in now or that you wanna live in. You can maximize both your prospecting and marketing by doing open houses, social media. You can geotag in social media. Did you guys know that? So you can pick an area so that your marketing goes just to people in that geotag. That's why when you go to like Las Vegas, you start to get Las Vegas ads on Facebook, different things like that. Your phones are tracking you. But you can do open houses, social media, having conversations through the door, at the park. Making contacts with people and keeping notes on them, so that way you can remember, because you're gonna get in relationship with so many people that you aren't gonna remember who was who or who said what, and so keeping notes on them.
Look at that picture. There's not a single house that really has grass.
It's
I don't think that's in there.
Arizona.
But
Is it like South Africa? Yeah. Is it like Brazil maybe?
India.
So I wasn't part of the whole thing, I haven't been here yet, but. So if you guys are talking about open houses, and in my mind, an open house is a listing that I have. And I'm marketing it, right? And am I following along right? I'm sort of watching the way you guys. Cause you guys were saying, you said you could go off somebody else's open house.
Yeah,
So can you go a little bit further on that? Cause I'm a little confused.
There's a whole class on open houses, so.
well,
Definitely.
it was when he missed it, it was what, on Thursday.
When
when
was the last time?
Definitely go to the open house class, so you learn all the best ways to do it. However, as a brokerage, we constantly have agents raising their hand saying, hey, does anyone want to do an open house? I have this one listing coming up, I have one next week, I have one this week, right? So there's always opportunities to do open house. Until you get your own listings, I personally would set a goal to try to do an open house. I would probably do 2 a month. If you do 2 open houses a month for the rest of your career, you'll never go hungry. I promise you that.
Mhm.
I promise you, 2 open houses a month for the rest of your career, you'll make, excuse my language, you'll make shit tons of money. Just doing open houses. Well, doing the open houses in the right way. And what I mean by that is not waking up on this Saturday. And you're like, oh, I don't have anything to do today. Maybe I'll do an open house. That's not the best open house. Right? But if you do all of the relevant things that you're taught in the open house class, door knocking, making the right, you don't have to make special flyers, but making something, and just doing it the way you should be doing, you're going to get business. You will get business.
I was just a little lost listening to your,
So, I like to say, and, Matt, he's one of the owners here, he says. Use the open house for all the other reasons to lead generate, so that open house, you're gonna door knock for it, right? You're gonna post on social media with it, you may take out a. Ad in command for it.
You get to write thank you cards, people let you put up their signs.
Mhm,
So it creates all these other avenues of marketing, but you're.
and
with
lead
them.
generating, yeah,
And in my opinion, it takes down that brick wall that people put up because the Johnsons or the Smiths or Martinez's asked you to do the open house. And if you propose it that way, they're like, oh, that's cool, because now it's more personal, because they may know one of those people. Or their kids know those people. Oh, I didn't know they were, they close the door, they go to their spouse and say, honey, did you know the Smiths are? No, I didn't. And then little Johnny's like, yeah, they put their house on the market, right? Because their friends, right? That's where those conversations take place.
I love it, there's some door knocking ideas in your book, it looks like. For week, events and seminars, we've kind of talked about those, so. We've done like a millennial homebuyers class, a first time homebuyers class. I mean, you can partner with a lender to co-teach classes with you as well. Or I did like little swag bags at a first time homebuyer class. That I had done a long time ago. And I had the vendors provide the swag, right? Like the home warranty company. So she gave me like $60 off your first house call. Or different things like that, so you can involve other people in that, and that helps you build your network plus on the event. And in the beginning, definitely lean on lenders because they can help you with the first time home buyer events. And then home seller events, and then you can niche it down, like, do you want to be an investor? Do you want to have short-term rentals or long-term rentals, and you can host events around that. And then we kind of beat this all the way around, right? Leads are everywhere you go. Everyone is a lead, everyone lives somewhere.
So, before I was in management, before I had kids, I used to ski a lot. I used to ski a ton. And, who skis in the middle of the week? The rich people. So I would purposely go, we used to do a lot of business cards then. I used to go skiing with 10 business cards in my pockets, and my goal was to purposely get on a lift with strangers and get my business card out. I got a lot of business that way.
Never thought of it.
Yeah,
I have a scavenger hunt, like lead generation day. That we're coming up, I think we're gonna do it in September, but it's the same thing, like ride an elevator and give out your business card. So, or like find someone at the mall and give out your business card. Jessica, she taught last week, I think. No, Jessica,
yeah.
last week on Tuesday then. She did the grocery store thing. She stood at the grocery store and
Yeah,
found
she
out
still
about
does.
her
She
things.
loves it.
Yeah.
It's like her new favorite thing.
Yeah, and Jen Simpson, that was social media class, and Claudia, they went and handed out flowers like around Mother's Day. To people and got people's contact information that way. I think they just did it on 25th Street, so there's all kinds of ways. You can do that. My hair lady and my nail lady have both used me for their personal transactions and referred me. Business, so just anybody that you're interacting with, and if you're not interacting with enough people, figure out ways to do more. Yeah. Okay, you are licensed, right?
as of Friday, yes,
You got your license, nice, yay.
fingerprints. The little issue I had with all
You
that.
barely came back, but no, just kidding.
No, the little issue I had with the college, their machine went down after I took the test. And so nobody bothered to tell me, and I finally reached out to them, like, hey, where's my fingerprints at? So anyway, long story short, state called, I got it all done, but Friday I went to St. George, I did an appointment down there. I got it right back. So
Oh, perfect. So have you been connecting with your sphere? Or people, your friends and family, anybody?
yes, I have
Have you been collecting their contact information?
not yet, like I didn't really know how to go about that, so that's why I'm here to try.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
So, everyone here's got a smartphone, right? So what I suggest is, and like the iPhone has a note section, right? Create a note section, that says, SOI or possible SOI people. And then every time you see a yellow car, it reminds you of a friend, put that friend down. Cause it'll be random times and random places that now you have to go back and think, okay. That yellow car or that song or that whatever I saw reminded me of so-and-so. So now I'm gonna add them to my database, but now I gotta go collect their phone number, I gotta go collect that, that's when you add them to your command. But I think if you keep them in your notes section, then you can go back. What'll happen is. You'll see that yellow car, hear that one song that reminds you of so-and-so. But by the time you go back to command, you're like, who was I thinking about? So that's why I say put it in your notes section, so you can quickly just say it and talk or type it in your phone quickly. So the idea behind it is your database is your lifeline to your business, right? And I don't remember what the total stats were, but it's something like, you'll probably correct me on it. It's something like people that have more than 201 people in their database that are completely filled out with their phone number, their name, their email address, their address. Those, when it's completely full, those who have 201 more or 200 or more than 201 people make something like 47% more money.
Mhm. And then
That's a
our,
lot of money
and
difference.
that's a, from Keller Williams as a whole, because in our office, it was actually, the percentage was even higher. In our office, so just consistently working the database, because then you get to work with people that you like. Right, that are in there. I would take a picture of this. I just looked, I don't know why it's not in your book, but this is the perfect lead generation plan. So, connecting with the people that you already know. And then putting them in your database, in your command, and finish filling out their contact information. Get leads from open houses, create community with social media, and capture leads on social media. Reward your referrals or create a referral strategy for people that send you referrals. Decide what area you want to work in, so you can start door knocking for that area and considering events and seminars. I think this should be in the book. It's actually really good. You can't not make money doing all of those things. You'll make money. Okay, now we'll go to do you guys want a quick break? Then we'll go to the next one.
Okay, quick 5-minute break. We'll jump in the next one.
4.5. Just kidding.
4.5 minutes. 4 minutes, 37 seconds.
Ooh, counting down my work.
Again,
You want to test you?
you just hit escape.
No, this is it. I'm just seeing what.
Oh, this is the other one.
Oh my, sure.
It's just a video.
Did you?
Yeah, but I taught every one of them.
That's how I feel.
So it's more of just a reminder.
And I'm like, I'd rather look at their book, what they're looking at.
The first couple times I taught them, I would literally I'd read it a couple days before, the day before, the day of. And now since I taught every single one of them, let's review it. I reviewed it. Started reviewing it yesterday. I
I
talked to her too.
know, I.
What?
With this recording. You sure?
We'll talk about it later, but
Yeah,
that's what I wanted to talk about.
I had a long conversation with her. And she said,
She said, what?
there's a couple people that will have conversation about. you want to share with me, like, pretend like I'm the person you're door knocking for the open house, and I'll see if I can help, if it's a script issue.
Oh boy,
Spot, man.
spot. Hi, my name is Judy Justine. I'm a real estate agent with Keller Williams. Hang on. That's not how it started.
Yeah, I mean,
I normally spend like a good 5 minutes before I even go, just like thinking about what I would say. So yeah, I would say that, say. I'm just here to let you know, your neighbors down the street, you've probably seen them, seen the sign out in front of their yard. They're selling their house, we're selling their house for them, and I'm just letting everybody in the neighborhood know that we're holding the house for them. Wanted to give you guys heads up, in case you've got kids or dogs or anything like that. Just wanted to give you traffic on that day. So just be aware of that, keep an eye on the streets. Do you guys happen to know anyone that might be looking to move or buy a house anytime in the next couple of months?
and they say no.
No, that's totally cool, that's totally cool. How long?
So-
here for?
Let's make that first question an open-ended question, so they can't say no.
Oh, okay. Wait, let me think, I can figure that out. Who do you know that might be looking to buy or move to a new place in the next couple of months?
Or when do you plan on moving?
Yeah.
Right, that's was always my first question.
Yeah.
Like, well, I mean, I did, who do you know that might wanna move into the neighborhood?
Yeah.
What about you? When do you plan on moving?
Okay,
So try to make that first, cause that's probably where they're shutting you down right there, like, nope. So I think asking an open-ended question for the first question could help you.
I literally hadn't even realized that was a close end.
So really, the biggest scripts or conversation tips is to ask a lot of open-ended questions and keep them talking.
Exactly.
Cause he who asks the questions is in control of the conversation, right? But the more you can get them to talk, the more information gathering you're doing.
And it definitely feels more comfortable to say, do you know anybody?
Yeah,
That's
Well,
what-
I have to make a big difference, don't you think?
Yeah,
You have to answer.
it's like. That's a normal conversation. People aren't typically actively thinking about the way that they're asking a certain question.
Mhm.
It's just a natural conversation flow. So that makes sense to
keep it out, start making it open and question.
think about how you're gonna create that conversation.
So see if that helps you, and if you don't get better results, then come back. We'll keep going further, but I think just having open-ended questions.
Yeah.
It's gonna help you. So that they're not so no.
Where do you guys want to move?
Or who do you know?
We're never moving.
Yeah,
Right.
they'll still say that.
something,
They'll
and
still
then
say-
realize they're being idiots, cause they're never, right? You never know, they might be moving next week.
Yeah. Yep. All right, welcome back, welcome back. Do you guys know what a lead is? In real estate?
A lead, something that leads you to a client.
Ooh, I like it, I like that. Anyone else?
Possible opportunity.
Yeah, future buyer. Yep.
Yeah, future buyer. Any comments?
I've been confused about that.
So I would say a lead is someone who's in a way raised their hand to say they want something more, but they're not sure what yet. So they don't have to be a buyer, they don't need to be a seller, they may just want it, right? That's a lead, someone who's raised their hand, even if it's just virtually saying, I need something.
So you're confused about it because of command?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a super common confusion that happens. So in command, there's a little checkbox that you'll say mark as a lead for somebody. And in that, they're defining the lead of somebody that you have not had a conversation with. So it's like an internet lead, right? Or someone you're trying to get a hold of. But what we're gonna talk about now is a lead. And so if you had somebody that raised their hand and or an opportunity for business, or somebody that is saying, hey, I might move, then you want to create an opportunity for them in command, because that's where we're going to keep our real estate leads. So it's confusing because command has that little lead box, which is like, here's somebody, but I haven't talked to them yet.
Yeah, and I've been marking it in the lead if like what you said, like they've expressed interest in any aspect of real estate. so far.
So if they've expressed interest in buying or selling
Yes.
in the next 6 months, I would create an opportunity for them and then put them on a follow-up plan so that you know that you're keeping in contact with them a couple times, more than once a month. So, the life of a lead, we saw this last time.
Yeah, we had that conversation, about
A
the
minute ago.
duration of time. You said you moved how many times in how many years?
Like 15 years, 15 times in 20 years.
Good example.
So you can see that she's.
And my
not
mom has
accepting-
not moved since 1979. How many years back?
Skewing that.
Yeah.
Two of it,
Yeah.
Everyone's really different.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, lead follow-up, so like you guys were saying, if they're possible business. And then they turn from possible business to probable business, right? Cause now you're gonna provide value to them and get them into to be probable business. And then they're gonna be profitable business and you'll get to
Then it goes back as a full circle.
in the funnel, yeah, I think. So, let's talk about Mindshare.
If you ain't first, you're last. Just kidding. Reach about it. Some people don't even get it.
My friends were Ricky Bobby for help. Oh, it was so fun. They got like the Wonder Bread like suits and everything. Okay, if you aren't first or second in their mind, you're probably not gonna get the business. So we talk about mind share, so you've got to market to people to have that mind share to them, which is why you need to keep marketing to them, even if they haven't raised their hand and say, hey, I'm ready to buy or sell, because eventually they're always somewhere in that cycle of sales, right? My mom would move right now, even though she hasn't, if, well, it's complicated, but I think it's her boyfriend is why she won't move, because she doesn't want to own a house with somebody else. And I talked about all those ways, but she won't get it out of my.
I met your mom, right? Your mom.
You wait till my mom's.
Your mom would totally.
Yeah. I was like, you were at her house. Okay, how are we gonna follow up with the leads? How are we gonna keep in contact with them? So this is a huge system and, really what your whole real estate business is gonna be built off of. So everywhere you're looking for leads, open houses, your sphere of influence, door knocking, social media, you're gonna add them to command. And then you're gonna start consistently marketing to them. So the reason why it's so important to add them to command is because that's leverage, because it's gonna automatically tell you who to call each day. It's gonna automatically send out emails for you. It's gonna, if they're clicking on homes in your app, you're gonna see that they're interested in that. So anybody that's a lead, that's thinking of buying or selling real estate. You're gonna do 19 to connect, so 19 touches per year. So 4 of those are gonna be a quarterly phone call, just checking in. Like, hey, how are you doing? Has anything changed since we last talked? Like, how was your summer vacation? Did Susie graduate high school? Like, just whatever those phone calls are gonna be. Do you want market information? You can say interest rates have actually came down recently. 12 touches are gonna be a monthly email, newsletter, market report, or video. So we have that already set up through Command. Your monthly neighborhood nurture is a really good one to send through there. 2 touches a year are gonna be direct mail. So, for like a magnet, a calendar, a printed market report, something like that. And then 1 touch could be the annual event, a party, like a movie screening, a get together, something like that. We at our, actually I'll talk about that in 36. The 1 to cement is a high value touch that solidifies the relationship that you've just established and opens the door for future interactions. I think that the 1 touch here that they have the annual event, party, movie screening, or get together. I think if you did like a coffee date, right, that would be the cement touch. Or if you, I mean, I do lots of baby showers, so like I attend a lot of baby showers. So if you went to somebody's baby shower, that could help cement their relationship. But just something that's gonna cement that relationship with them. One thing, this does say to mail a market report, on one of the mailers. One of my main one to Cement Touch that I use for my whole database is just called, real estate review. So I just yearly, everybody's gonna get a CMA or a market analysis or an equity report. I change the name all the time on what their home is worth and different things that they can do with their equity. So are they thinking of being investors? And I try to take that to them and present it to them. Cause that's really gonna be a high value touch. If they are renters and they don't own, then I like to do that home buyer strategy session. Like, where are you at on the path to homeownership? Because even if you don't want to buy a home this year, you don't want to be a renter forever. Like, you eventually are gonna want to buy a home, and I can help you get there, so I can.
Or fourplex.
I love it. And then once they're in your database, and you feel like that relationship is cemented with you, then they go to the 36 touch. This is called 36 to convert. So, my 36 touch that I teach is a little bit different than this. I'm gonna tell you guys what that one is too, but 4 touches, so 4 quarterly phone calls to them. 26 touches, so bi-weekly email offering some type of information or value to the consumer. So I do teach 4 phone calls following a DTD2 system that I teach. I do teach the 26 bi-weekly emails. One of those emails is gonna be the monthly neighborhood nurture right from Command, and the other one is a newsletter. It's kind of a generic newsletter that Kimber, she's our regional tech trainer, that she creates, and it goes out to them once a month. So on the 1st of every month, they're getting their monthly neighborhood nurture. On about the 15th of every month, they're getting their newsletter, which is just basic real estate information. It's just a short little thing. It keeps my name in the top of their subject line. Keep from Allison. 2 touches, events, get-togethers, or parties. We do 4 in our office. The Easter egg hunt, our summer event, which is a carnival this year, something in the fall, which we are. Okay. A pumpkin patch, and then Santa cookies with Santa event that we do here in the office. They're all super well attended. My clients have loved every one of them. Doing those, and I love having an office that puts that together so that you don't
So,
have to do that. all
Does
on
that
your own.
appear to be overwhelming? It's really not. But we're gonna break this down. So the MREA, the red book right there, it actually refers to that, the 19 to connect, they used to call it the 8x8
The 8
program.
by 8, yeah.
And what it was 8 touches in 8 weeks. This is going with modernizing it, they're saying to do 19. But if we were to break the 36, there's no reason why you have to start with this. You literally can meet someone and have a conversation in an open house or whatever, and you, with their permission, full on just drop them into one of your smart plans.
Which
Okay,
is mostly what I do.
that's what the bulk of people should do, because really your database should be your best friend, right? So let's talk about this. Let's talk about the super easy ones, the emails, right? Which is 26 of them. So that's email how often? Every 2 weeks, right? According to the math, we have 52 weeks. So 1 is a market update for the stats of wherever they live.
Local to them or what they
Yep,
care about.
or if they're in your geographical farm, it could just be your neighborhood, right? So 1 of them is that, so that's half of them. So what's the other one gonna be?
The newsletter is what.
The newsletter that she just said that Kimber does. So now there are 2 different things. I was gonna put newspaper, newsletter. 2 different things that are super easy to do. That just wiped out a ton of those 36. Would you agree? Now, we do 4 client appreciation events a year. And how many in the SMART campaign for those, how many touches do they have?
I mean, that,
There's a save a date,
yeah, I got 6.
okay? There is a text or call,
I think there's a text and call, right?
text call to RSVP. Okay, there's the reminder. There's the event that then now you actually have a conversation with them in person. Then there's a thank you. Okay, now, how many times have you just touched them? 5? Plus your 26? How many more do we need?
Well, that's times 4 if you're doing all 4
Times 4. You
client
see,
events, yeah.
you're done. See how easy that was? We make it so simple for you. You just gotta get engaged in these events. So you guys are all brand new. Are you guys signed up for the carnival? Get signed up today. Get signed up today. Even if you don't, cause there's a fee for it to help pay for it.
It's $100.
Don't pay the fee, but invite a couple of your friends and family to come. But get involved. Go to Lauren tomorrow and say, hey, I'm not gonna promote the living crap out of it. However, I wanna learn it. So I wanna volunteer to help. So tell them that Sean said that we're not gonna charge you the $100 fee, but you're gonna get involved and help. And I want you.
Sean leaves out of the country tomorrow.
No,
Just kidding.
I will tell everyone I'll tell everyone that was at Ignite, I'm gonna waive their $100 fee. So I want you to get involved and help out.
When is the carnival?
State.
August 8th, is that what it is? August 8th.
I'll check.
Yeah,
And I think
no,
it's
it's
Thursday.
it's during the week. We always do them on Wednesdays or Thursdays, our events. We figure if they're on the weekends, the only one we do on a weekend is the Cookies with Santa.
August 8th.
Yeah, fine.
So
It's in the evening.
you can see how they operate, you can get involved with helping agents, helping the thing run. But the idea behind it is when you times these ones by 4. You can see you've already blown past your 36 contacts. Okay, now with that being said, we talked about some of the agents that have like a VIP program, that could be your 2 additional extra touches. Is like, hey, I'm reaching out to all my VIPs and they're like, your VIP program? Yeah, you're my VIP program. And I'm gonna be doing a drawing for movie tickets. Would you like to be entered? How many movie tickets do you have to give out? 1 or 2. You probably don't want someone to go to the movie by himself. But
Well, and then
a pair of tickets. And they don't know. They don't know you just gave $25. I don't know how much movie tickets are in nowadays. But see my point? Would you say what times are that?
I don't know. Do you know the times at Red Dutch?
I can pull it up. We have a thing right here that was.
She took it one day. I have Joy.
I can pull it up on my email. 4. Actually, for the clients, it might be 5 to 8.
So if you're volunteering, I'll be here about 4.
I think 4, yeah. That's I'm thinking pumpkin patch, because we were just talking about that as well. But you can see you just blew past the 36 touches. Just with the 4 events we do and the newsletters, which are automated. It's a no-brainer.
Who would
Not
myself and anyone else in this room be able to like sit down with, go over how to set these things up sooner than later? Because
The best part is, they're already set up. You just have to turn it on.
That's literally my job though, is to help you set those up.
okay,
So when the coaching will tell you what we're doing each week too.
Yeah.
Like, or each day on that coaching calendar.
I've got a couple people on my like monthly neighborhood update, but nothing.
5 to 8.
I'm volunteering.
Yeah, I think
I'll be
before
here,
you
you
get
know,
on people
another
are really set up.
Yeah, we have to be there early, but
And one of our agents who's not really a participating agent, not in the program, but in the business, she's going through some other stuff, but she is volunteering her big commercial size popcorn. I sent it to Lauren to see if we need it.
I love it. Well, and I think Luke and Renee were gonna, they're contacting me for 2. So you can set up a time with me or Bradley at the front. He is our tech trainer, so he can help you set up the stuff as well. For these 36 touches. The 36 touch I teach is 4 phone calls a year, 26 emails a year, and 4 handwritten notes a year. Like note cards to them, like thinking of you or event invites or something like that.
Well, the handwritten card's perfect to say, hey, it was great to see you at our pumpkin patch.
Yep.
It was great to see you at Red Bash.
Oh. I hate it when we do that. I do that every time. All right, so what are your strengths when working with people? How can I adapt the touches of the 19 touch or the 19 to connect to represent me? What are some reasons I might have for contacting the lead? What are some touches to do before and after a phone call? So think about these questions. How am I using conversations to let the person know I'm in real estate, how to contact me, and how to refer business to me? I think sometimes people think that they don't understand how we're paid, and they don't understand that we need referrals to keep going. So make sure that they know how to send you business, like, hey, the best way to send me business is for you to text me their contact information or whatever you're wanting from them. When is it best for me and my business to time block for lead follow-up? How much time should it take to reach out to a lead? What will I do to hold myself accountable? And what do I need to do to make sure this happens? With the 36 touch, I teach people to make their phone calls on Monday, Wednesday, Friday for an hour. And it's 4 text messages a year is the other 4 of the 36 touch. On Tuesdays, they send their text messages for an hour, and on Thursdays, they write their note cards for an hour. And that will give you the 36 touches that you need. And then you only need a time block for an hour a day to do that kind of lead generation stuff. Because if you're not, and then in addition, you need to follow up with any leads that you.
So we've talked before about your calendar setup. That reminds you of like last name of the people.
The
you want to
DTD
contact?
too,
Yes. I thought I was connected to that. I'm not.
to my coaching calendar.
Yes, I definitely want to be. And if you guys haven't heard about that, that is also pretty significant.
I can show you guys.
Allison's calendar will remind you.
Who to
basically,
call
Yeah,
when.
no one will fall through the cracks. So if you're trying to give a call to a certain number of people over the course of a week, you can get all of them taken care of on specific days without worrying that somebody will get contacted.
I can share the calendar link in the email that I'm just gonna send out at the end of this class today. So design your 19 to connect touch plan, but like Sean said, really the 36 touch plan is gonna be more valuable. That's really the foundation of your business. So make an impact, focus on value, and I like how it said personalize it as well. Like if you, like I have a personality, I don't know if you guys know. So like, I'm not gonna just send dry like market stats to people like that. It doesn't, those are probably not my people. So, I do want to send them statistics and data, but I'm gonna send it in like a more fun way to them. So I'm either gonna do a funny video or sometimes I'll be like, did you see that interest rate drop in like the top? So just make it you, don't worry about so much about who, be the kind of person that you would want to work with, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Default, so this is ways to get leads. And then the calls out one, you do have to stay TCPA compliant with all your phone calls, but the calls out or the door knocking where you're in control of when you're having the conversations is most important. Because otherwise it takes, right, if you guys are all working another job, you've got to time block the time when you're gonna be making the phone calls.
So the calls in, we've done it a few times where we did what they call a reverse bold. A bold 100 is when you have 100 real estate conversations in one day. And we as a group did a reverse bold 100. And reverse bold 100 is when people call in to us. And what we did is we did it, first time we did second time. One of the times we did a barbecue and then we did something else.
You did a smoker.
But we got Lowe's to help donate it, which we got it for such a great discount, but then we had some sponsors each throwing only like $50 and we got the smoke or whatever it was covered. And we did a little promo video on social media and shared it and emailed it out to people. And people would have to call in during a certain time of day. We would ask them the
Like a
questions.
telethon.
Like a telethon. We would ask them the questions and that's how they got entered, but in it was, do I have your permission to add you to my database? Because really it was trying to build a database. And we hit well over 100 phone calls almost every time we did it.
I have 2 agents right now. that are in advanced coaching that's what they're doing. I have this stuff back there, but they're doing a whole lot of summer giveaway to fill their database, and get missing contact information for people and get additional people into their database. All right, so this is the confusing part, Judah. So when two-way communication is established, the lead becomes a contact in your database. So that's when you uncheck the lead box in command. So it's interesting when we talk about two different kinds of leads, like lead follow-up versus who is actually a lead guy, or we call them opportunities here for a lead that's ready to work with you. So they're gonna go in this funnel. You're gonna capture them through prospecting or marketing. You're gonna put them in your database. You're gonna form a relationship with them. Then you're gonna strengthen the existing relationship with them. So sometimes the relationship's already formed, right? So then they just go straight to contacts. And then you're gonna cultivate the contacts for lead conversion. So you're gonna be interactive with them and give them needs-based offerings. But you don't know what they need unless you're communicating with them. And then they're gonna do business with you, or they're gonna refer you business, and they just go right back in, and it just keeps cycling through that. We already went through, oh, is it over? That was it? Well. I think this is the end, right?
That can't be done, right? We should go back and read that quote.
Oh, well, this quote is actually a really good quote to read before you're lead generating ever, whether you're door knocking. I think, was it you? No, Ken and Eden taught the first class. So mindset is everything in this business. So it really is all about mindset. So having a good affirmation that you can say right before you're gonna lead generate and talk to people really does, what you focus on expands, right? So I engage every conversation in the spirit of contribution, and people are happy to be in a relationship with me. Just knowing that they have a trusted source for real estate information is gonna be valuable to them. For sure. Tell me have you guys ever been, you said you know Luke and Lene, Dustin?
My house, I bought it from
Tell,
Luke's house. He's so fun.
he's,
He showed all these houses. He was getting so annoyed with me after a while.
he was in here all day today.
Yeah, he texted me today, asking how things are going, so he must have seen that they were working on my stuff, but they've been sending me all sorts of emails, so I'm sure.
Yeah, maybe. So how did he follow up with you?
So he does a funny little thing, so if you bought a house with him, he will give you a pie at Thanksgiving, and he does his little party and he invites you over, so I've been over twice.
They do they call it Red Bash at their house.
Yep,
Mhm.
and they also let me use his truck.
Mhm.
When he moved, that was his little gimmick, but you know, hey, you can use my moving truck. and
It's
buy a
there,
house.
it's something like my family moving yours or something like that.
Yeah, and he's got his picture on, he's always on the
The
side.
little kids on it, I know.
But see, he's also, so my wife's family has bought multiple properties, sold multiple properties.
It's actually Lenny.
Lene,
Yeah.
yeah, so I only knew Luke, I didn't really.
Yeah. She's the behind the scenes one.
Yeah, she was doing most of the footwork.
She's just.
If he would do the footwork, she would do the paper. They also did a little mailer thing. I was just thinking about all this stuff that you were talking about. The Traeger thing, I think I was involved in or something, because I remember getting something about an email or something. And then also he did this, if you undid the words, like he had a word scramble thing and you figure out what the word was on his little mailer and send it back to him or text him with the word. You entered in to win like $50, $100 or something. We all were doing it, but I never won, but I participated, so.
Yeah, so their pie event, I don't know how long you've been getting pies from them, but it started out where they would go just hand deliver them to their people.
Yeah.
But it got to where they had so many people doing or getting pies that they couldn't physically do it in one day. And I don't know how many pies they ordered, it's something like 1,000.
A lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot of pies. But what they do is they do a version of an open house. And they'll make like stews, chilies, soups,
Yep.
And they do the, what do you call it, the D2, whatever that is.
To,
So what it is if your name starts with A through G, you come in at this time. If your name is J through L, you come in at this time. So there's not too many people all the time, but they're physically doing it for almost 8 hours. People don't realize that, but what it is they come in and they meet and greet you, that you eat some of their chili or soup that they made, you get your pie. But they actually send out a mailer to you and you check the box, what kind of pie you wanted, right? I don't know if there's 3 or 4 choices, but then they order them all from Costco and they get them for pretty cheap. And these people all come to them. So they literally, how we were saying, 100 contacts in a day, they really have something like 1,000 contacts in a day.
but that's
It's
a
a large
lot
amount.
of work.
That's how I,
Yeah.
That's years of building.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a year, because at first it was they would take them to them, but then they got so big they couldn't.
well, that's literally how I got into real estate thing. Just through them, because I was at their house and I actually had a student that worked for Keller Williams, Florida. And he told me all about the program and the scholarship and all that, and I got in touch with Luke and Lene, and they, at the Thanksgiving thing, they set me up with the thing.
Awesome.
That's literally how I got here, was through those guys.
They're good people.
And they gave me their little, I have tons of their little poker chips that they pass out and all their little marketing stuff. But my wife's bought, her family has bought and sold probably, 5 or 6, 7 properties with those guys.
Yeah, they're getting, their team name is the Balster Action Team. And it's really just Luke, Lene, and their son Jared,
Yeah,
so it's only the 3 of them. They do a lot of business. This business is definitely a relationship business. And Luke is got the gift of gab, he just talks to everybody and anybody. So. It's definitely something you can't be afraid to talk to people, you can't be afraid to have conversations.
Look for more ways to have social interactions. Don't hide behind our screens, right, all the time.
So what questions you guys have?
mine are just mainly how to use command and stuff. I finally got set up on a lot of it last night. So I'm not part of the tech savvy world, so it's gonna be a little bit of a challenge.
Someone told me this quote a long time ago, and I'm gonna get the quote wrong. And I think it's definitely become more of this, but they said there's no computer illiterate people, there's only people illiterate software programs. Because in reality, think about the old ones, you had to be like a scientist in order to navigate through them. But nowadays, everything has become so simple. So don't be afraid of command. Get in and start pushing buttons and mess.
You're not gonna break it.
Yep.
And if you do, they'll fix it.
But I do download,
Get in and start messing.
I did download all my contacts on my phone too.
To-
That's
Yeah.
actually a pretty big thing, yeah.
Yeah, I figured out how to export them and.
Yeah.
I did all that, so.
I love it, I love it.
I'm trying.
Now, with that being said, you guys don't know how to do that yet, right? So what your next step to that, because that's a pretty easy thing to do. The next step is to go in and create tags that go with them. And it'll be SOI, it could be friend, it could be family, it could be buyer / open house, right? Because it's a buyer or someone that you met from an open house that said they want to buy. Right, so you start creating tags, because that helps you when you're setting up those 19 to connect. Because if someone's just a friend or family member, until you have that conversation, there's no need to start sending them stuff.
I love it.
I appreciate how you asked if people had questions as an open-ended question as well. I noticed that and I was like, okay, people are more likely to respond to what questions do you have than do you have.
Do you have any questions? Yeah.
Yeah, even that alone. I was like, okay, catch that.
He's a master wordsmith.
I don't know about that.
He won't say but, or if he does, he'll correct himself and say and. Have you guys noticed that? He's done it all night.
Well, when you say but, normally and traditionally, that's to be followed up with a negative connotation to something. You heard it straight to me, but.
Well, and but means
and
only
you're
one
like,
thing
"Oh,
can be
what's wrong with
true.
my hair?"
Yeah, like it kind of means only one thing can be true and 2 things could be true. Your hair could look great today
That's
and
right,
it could
and-
be out of place. Or and your shirt's dirty. Not you.
And I didn't have my gym clothes.
Oh,
that's why I
Oh,
left
no,
and came right back, yeah.
I was like, I thought she was leaving.
Yeah, I could try to go to the gym every single day and I left to go to the gym and then I went to get my pre-workout out of the back seat of my truck and I realized it wasn't there and I thought, if that's not there, where's my gym? And then so I just did a U-turn, came right back. So I have to go to the gym at 8 o'clock, 8 now.
So with you guys, I'm gonna ask one final question. So think of a way. This is like a success system. So what you're supposed to do, so have, how many conversations can you have a day? How many contacts can you add to your database? Or fill in their contact card with more information? How many handwritten notes can you send? And then the 10-5-1 social media engagement, and then enrichment is learning opportunities.
I really challenge you guys to do that because that's not an easy thing to do. To add 10 contacts to your database every day is brutal.
Or to fill them. We had
That's some effort, that's some work.
10 a day, that's a lot. But find a time in your schedule when you're gonna actually work on your business. So look at pull your calendars out right now and time block a time when you're gonna make phone calls to people and either tell them you are in real estate. Or for you guys, tell them you're in real estate school. Have you got signed up yet, Jamal?
No, I was actually gonna talk to you about getting signed up.
Okay, you're signed up though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I can, Bradley's doing that, right?
Yes. I learned that today. It's easy.
Is it JAVON?
Yep.
What's your last name?
Gibbs.
Is that your mom I met?
Mom and sister,
Oh,
and actually grandma too, actually, all of them.
I only think I met 2 people.
Oh, then it was mom and sister.
Okay. I saw him at the Jessica.
You guys met?
No, I met him through Kat.
Oh.
You know, I don't know her last name. She's an agent here. No, the one that was here today in the blue dress. No, Katie Hartshorn.
Oh, okay.
But Hearns. I met him through this, but then.
You meet everybody at the concert.
You've been to a concert with me. I own you sauna, people. Just if you want a VIP experience. Tell me when you have it time blocked. To tell people you're in real estate school, just do 1 hour at least before we meet on Thursday. You have it already in your calendar? When are you gonna do it?
I got an appointment tomorrow with whoever, somebody called me.
Oh, with Lauren probably, or
No,
Bradley,
no,
Chris?
Gary. I don't know, if you're interested.
Oh,
She called me, Laura Neely.
no.
I don't know who she was, but she said she was calling me and wanted to set up a time block or something, but she had a California number, I'm like, who is this? Like, yesterday was crazy, everything, people were calling me left and right.
With her. That's not one of our VAs, is it?
Oh, I don't think so. Would it be a concept?
Well, I'll find out tomorrow. No, but I plan on doing it tomorrow night after I get done with that. I kind of figure I'm gonna wait till do things a little bit.
Don't wait.
No, at nighttime. So
So
when people are
so
more home and they're after dinner and they've relaxed a little.
put
bit.
everything in your schedule, figure out what your schedule's gonna work for you. Don't think about what's gonna work for your clients. Ultimately, they'll answer the phone or not answer. the phone, Right? So I don't know about you guys, but I talk all day. So by the time I get home, I don't talk to my neighbors, right? Because I've used all my words for the day. And so I wave, pull in my garage, close my garage and go inside. And so if I started getting calls from my friends, unless it's an emergency, I typically stop. After 8:30, I don't talk to anybody.
End of the night.
I'm just done. Unless I'm going out, friends.
No, that's all I was saying.
Just put it in your calendar. So one of the things that I did not do very well. And I screwed it up is I did not time block. And I did not put everything in my calendar till years later. And and it controlled my life. I was so afraid I was gonna miss a lead, miss a call, miss something, that I just took them all over the time. But I was so inefficient that it was absolutely insane. So time block when you're gonna reach out to people and talk to them about your new career. Even if you set a schedule to say, on this Tuesday, I'm going to talk with 5 people. It could be a small number like that. It really could even be 3 people. I'm gonna talk to 3 people in my database about my new career in real estate. And you go to an open house, you're like, I'm gonna knock on 50 doors today. And out of that 50, you might only talk to 20. You're gonna knock on 50 doors. So you'll start tracking everything. Then in time, you start learning, okay, for me to knock on 50 doors efficiently, I need this much time. You start tracking all of that, so then you can put the adequate time in your calendar.
How do you recommend tracking that most effectively? Like what tool would you use? And is there?
A watch.
Okay.
I started at 10.
He said, oh.
And then I stopped at 11.
Yeah.
And I only got 22 doors. So in that hour, I need to double it if I'm gonna get my 50. So yeah.
You can
Dalton
create a
knocks on a lot of
spreadsheet, is
doors.
that kind of what you're asking, like creating a spreadsheet like that?
Don't overthink.
Yeah,
things.
that's, I
Don't overthink.
agree.
So I don't know how many agents I've met who are like, how's this postcard, how's this flyer? And then they come back, how's my business card? And they spend like weeks building stuff, and I'm like,
That's
not
not
gonna
what
make
makes you
any
money.
you're not gonna make any money. You need to go out and
Get
talk
out
to
and
people.
do it.
Don't be afraid to talk. Don't spend your time building spreadsheets and tracking stuff rather than just doing it. Track what you do. Don't create the tracking mechanism that you're not doing anything. That makes sense. I'm not gonna say names because are we recording this?
No, I can check, we're not, but
So in our version of a dashboard, it tells us how many months
we did.
it's been since people did a transaction, right? So that's one of the things that we